Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Mr. Anderson. Hope everybody's doing well. I want you to open up your packet, and we are going to be on the second to the last paper of the sprint that we're going to do. Now, we talked about yesterday there was not a place to write your improvement, but today there is, because we're comparing our subtracting that we're doing today to what we did yesterday. So once again, make sure you have a pencil and a good eraser. And if you need to pause the video to go get your materials, you can go ahead and do that. Once you're ready, get out your timer, and I want you to time yourself and see how long it takes for you to do all of these problems here. You can put the time that you got either down here at the bottom or right here at the top where there's a blank space. Just like before, we're not grading solely just based on how many you get correct, but we want to see your improvement. So once again, there are 44 questions. Let's pretend I got 30 of them correct today, and yesterday I got 25 correct. That means my improvement is going to be 5. I got 5 more correct today than I did yesterday. Remember, we want to be honest with our answers so that we can see our improvement and see if we need any extra help with any of these questions. Go ahead and pause the video and take care of your sprint right now. When you're finished with your sprint, we're going to open up to this page in your packet. Now this looks like a lot, but really it's very simple, and we're going to talk through each of these different types of questions. We have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. They're each a little bit different, and so I'm going to tell you how to solve each of those types of questions. Make sure that you have your name and date at the top of the page, first of all, and then let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, model each change on your place value chart, then fill in the chart. Whisper the complete sentence, something is more or less than, something is something. So this is what this is going to look like. I'll do the first row with you right here, number 242. So I'm going to look at number 242. I'm going to say 100 more. 242, I'm not going to change my ones place. I'm not going to change my tens place. I am going to change my my hundreds place. I'm going to add 100 to that. So that's going to equal 342. So to myself, I'm going to say 100 more than 242 is 342, just like that. Then I'm going to move on to the next place. It says 100 less. Well, I know my ones will not change and my tens will not change. My starting number was 242, so I'm not going to say 100 less than 342, but 100 less than 242. That gives me 142. Next, I'm going to do 10 more. That means my ones do not change and my hundreds do not change. Once again, I'm using this number. 10 more than 242 is 252. I'm going to keep moving. 10 less, my hundreds do not change, my ones do not change. I started with 242, so that means 10 less is going to be 232. I'm going to do the next one. It says 1 more, so that means my hundreds do not change, my tens do not change, but my ones change. 242, 1 more than 242 is going to be 243. And finally, 1 less. My hundreds do not change, my tens do not change, and I'm going to do 1 less than 242, which is going to equal 241. I want you to do the exact same way for 153, 312, and 465. I want you to pause the video until you're finished, and then we're going to talk about the next part. Number 2 says, fill in the blanks. Whisper the complete sentence. All we're going to do is look at what the question asks us and then answer it. 1 more than 314 is, and I'm going to say this to myself, 315. Then you're just going to go through and answer all of these questions. You may have noticed that some of the blanks are on this side and some of them are on this side. This is something less than 578 is 568. So what you're going to have to look for, you're going to have to look 578, how many did I take away to make it 568? Well, I know my hundreds did not change between 578, let me draw a better one, and 568. So I didn't take away 100. I see that 70 is 10 more than 60. So I took 10. And then I see that the 8s did not change. The 1's place did not change. So my answer is 10 less than 578 is 568. Just make sure you're reading each of these very carefully because they may try to trick you like that. Go ahead and pause the video until you're finished with this section, and then we're going to do the next one. Number 3 says, whisper the numbers as you count. Count by ones from 367 to 375. I want you to write how many more you counted right here in this blank space next to it. So I have 367. I'm going to count by ones until I get to 375. 67, 68, 368, 369, 370, 371, 372, 373, 374, and 375. So if I look back, I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted by ones up 8 times. Then you're going to look at the next one. It says skip count by tens from 422 to 492. So this time you're not counting by ones, you're counting by tens. And I want you to write down how many tens you counted more. Pause the video here until you're finished with this part. When you're done with this part G, says I found letter something to be challenging because, and so you're going to look back through all of these right here and you're going to choose which one was a little bit difficult for you. So if I say that E was difficult for me, I'm going to put E right here. And then you're going to explain why that one was difficult. Maybe it was hard for you to count by tens. Maybe it was hard to count more than instead of less than. Whichever issue that you have, I want you to write that right here on your line. That way your teachers will know, and it'll make it a little bit easier for us to help you when we get back to school. Go ahead and pause the video here when you're done with that, and we're going to go on to the very last section. All right, finally, number 4 is actually a riddle. This says my starting number is 217. I skip count up by 100s 7 times. What is the last number I count? Explain your thinking below. So we're going to make sure that we're paying very close attention to the words here. We're looking at where we started. We're skip counting by something 7 times, and they want to know what is the last number that we count. So I want you to explain your thinking below. That means you could be drawing a number line to show your thinking. You could be doing a place value chart to do your thinking. Whichever way you were able to solve this, I want you to show that here on the blank space below. And that's it. If you guys have any more questions, you can look back through the video and pause it and rewatch the parts that you're not sure about, or you can email or reach out to your teacher, and they'll be glad to help you in any way that you need it. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. You guys have a great rest of the day.